Good afternoon, my fellow travelers. This is Frank and Angie in Cuenca, Ecuador. You know, we're living in the best retirement center in the world, but you've heard all that. You don't want to hear about that. People have asked about our Berkey watering filtering system. Now, we've been talking for years about how Cuenca has the best water in Ecuador in the world and all this. And it's true. We've drank the water here without filtering for almost 3 years without problems because the water's good. And but they do work on the pipes a lot, and you never know when they're going to do it, so they cut the water off a lot, and then when they initially turn it back on, that's the dangerous spot that you want to avoid. And since you never know when that's going to happen, if a person is not careful, he could end up drinking that bad water for that initial period of when they turn it back on because of the pipes. So anyhow, we decided we didn't want to worry about it, so we just went with the Berkey filtering system. Now, the Berkey filtering system is already very popular on eBay and YouTube. You can see a lot of people talking about it. So what's so special about our system? Well, you know, the simple way to do this is to go online and buy a stainless steel. You can go to the Berkey website, you can go on eBay, and you can get the stainless steel canisters, because you need a two canister system. That's what this is. The simple, quickest way to do it is to go online, spend $300 for a stainless steel system. That's if you're in the States. We're international travelers, and this video is for international travelers and international traveler wannabes. So what's the big deal? Well, you can order, you know, the $300 to $700 item, but you're not done yet. Then you have to have it shipped. You're going to pay shipping, and then you're going to pay additional in-country customs taxes. And the way things are right now, unfortunately, you're going to probably tack on, who knows, I'm just guessing off the top of my head, another $250 between the shipping and the taxes. So you're really looking at $550 to $950. You know, some people can do that. It's easy. This is for those other folk like us. We just decided to make our own. Now, I'm not going to go into the priming. That's a different video. You've already primed and cleaned these filters out. Here's how we did it. It's a 2-bucket system. These buckets we just bought at the store, $5 a piece. They already have faucets in them. Okay? For newbies, they've never done anything like this. I know when I was a newbie, I really appreciate detailed videos, because I'm so slow. When I was a newbie, I was so slow, I didn't get it. You could sit here and say blah, and I didn't get it. So, you have 2 buckets. They already have the faucets in them. Okay, this lid goes here. Okay, so how do you do this? Well, you notice each bucket has a lid. So let's look at the bottom bucket lid. What you're trying to do is, see, you're going to have these Berkeys. What it is, these little keys here, they unscrew. Let me show you. Here it is. That's your Berkey. See this? It unscrews. These Berkeys, they come with these washers, these little gummy washers. So you unscrew that, right? And the gummy thingy goes on the inside of the bucket. And the only thing that goes on the bottom is the screw. Okay, so your job is figure out how these are going to position on the lid. So here's how I did it. I just turned that over and I put these Berkeys like this, right? Because I want to know where they're going to go, because I don't want to accidentally drill a hole and then it's way over here. So first I position them, measure twice, cut once. So we're measuring. Alright, so I'm going to say I want these like this, because I don't want them too close here, and I don't want them too close like that. Okay? Alright, so then I take a pen or a marker. If you use a marker, you're going to put ink on your Berkeys, and you don't want that. You're going to have to clean your Berkeys. I'm going to have to clean them after touching them. Anyhow, because it's your drinking water, remember. Anyhow,
you trace around there.
You trace around, right? but you trace around, then you lift them. Now you got 2 circles drawn, right? Okay, next step is make sure you center where the hole is going to go. For example, that's going to be like that. Well, here, that circle's about right the same exact size, so let's pretend that's it. So all I did is I took the, you can use a ruler, you can use a, what do you call those, measuring tape, and you can measure the diameter from here to here, from one side of the circle to the other. That's the diameter. Go to the center. If that's 3 inches, just go to 1.5. Put a little dot there. Then do it on this side. You know, you measure from 1 inch to 4, that's 3 inches. Go to the center, that's 1.5. Okay, here's another way you can do it. You can do it that way. This is where people are going to, some people are going to do it whatever way they're comfortable with. You can do it this way too. This is the washer right here anyway.
See that.
Okay, so you already draw the circle. That's it. Let's just say that's it. You just put that there. Okay, now
It's not centered.
let's say you're not centered. That's really kind of okay as long as you're really close. You can use this and then you can just pencil right there. Another way to do it is just put that there and just trace around that. So there's 3 different ways of doing it. It doesn't matter really if you're centered, because remember, you know, it doesn't matter whether the filter ends up being, you know, like this or like that. It doesn't matter as long as you're not way off center. You know, obviously you're not going to put it over here if that's your circle. Next step's drilling the hole. Okay, so you've got 2 of these circles that you drew right here. Okay, then you took this, okay, and drew a circle in there, or you did it this way, whatever way you want to do it. Next step is lining up the size of your drill bit with the size of this thread. This thread's going to have to go through the hole you drill, but it can't be too loose, because the looser it is, the harder it is to have a watertight hole. So you want it to be just large enough for that to screw in. How I do it, I always eyeball it. Nowadays I have to go outside to see that. But to me, without my glasses, that looks like the threads are larger than that drill bit. Do you see that? Are you able to see that the threads are larger than the drill bit? I can see that it's larger. So I would have to go the next size up on the drill bit. So that's how I do it. Now maybe somebody else does it differently. They can comment on that. But that's how I do it. I go get the next size up drill bit, and what I need to do is eyeball it to make sure that it's at least as large as the threaded area. You're going to drill those holes. Remember, you already have the circles drawn and the center circle drawn. You've got the right size bit. This isn't it. This is too small. And then you're going to drill the hole. Now, drilling the hole, you're going to want to drill from the top of the lid, not the bottom. You did all the drawing and everything on the bottom, but you could do it on the top. When you drill the hole, there's a big risk because of this thin plastic, so it just depends on what kind of bucket you get. Now, you might be saying, why did you go with the transparent bucket? Because that's all they have in this size. They have the big, huge 5-gallon buckets. You can use that. And if you wanted it to filter a lot quicker, if you had a lot of people, a large family, you might want to put 4 of these filters in here instead of just 2. In that case, you would be able to use the larger 5-gallon bucket. They have them here. They're not transparent, but we didn't want that. We did want an aesthetic. We had aesthetic concerns for the kitchen. The lady of the house doesn't like big buckets sitting on the counter. I don't blame her. I don't either. So we went for the transparent because, I don't know, you know, it looks better. And I like being able to see the water anyway. So then that means that these are kind of thin. So you have to be super aware and cognizant of the fact that your buckets are super thin. Now, when they're super thin and you go drill, I cracked 3 buckets before I got it right, just so you know. Not necessarily these, the smaller ones, practice ones. That's what it was practice. And so, bottom line, when you drill, you don't want to push very hard. You want to go slow. I also noticed that the cordless drill didn't work because it didn't drill. The RPMs weren't fast enough, and it was slow and it cracked it. So when I used the regular electric drill, it was faster RPMs and it went through it easier. Zzz, you know, like that.
Well, that's a good tip to know.
Very good tip. And then, you know, after 3 practice buckets, I think people appreciate it. Okay, so you drill your holes. The next step is simple. Now remember, this is a 2-bucket system, so you're drilling the holes in the bottom bucket lid. Okay, so you've drilled the holes in your lid, where your lid's going to be sitting like that. And don't forget, you need to drill the holes in the bucket now, because this is what it's going to look like. So, I mean, you start by getting your holes in the lid part, right? Okay. But then you have to, the easiest thing with a transparent bucket is just, you already penciled out marked where you're going to drill. Maybe you've already drilled. If you've already drilled, the easiest way to do it is just put the lid on it. You're going to see where the hole is because your hole's drilled through the lid, right? So you can see through it, and you're going to see the bucket. And you just put your pencil right there. That's the easiest way to do it. That's the way I would do it. Then take it off and drill your holes where you just penciled. And okay, so once you've got those holes drilled, you can simply put your Berkeys through the holes. And remember, the gummy washer goes on the inside of the bucket. The only thing on the bottom here is the nuts. So you tighten that fairly tight. Because remember, we don't want water coming through this fitting here. The water has to go through the filter. And you know, this protruding part is hollow. So the water is coming through the filter and leaking out of this hollow part. So it's filtering it and coming out of the hollow. Okay, that's how that works. The top bucket's the one with the holes. And here's your Berkey filter. Put your washer that comes with it on. And you've drilled the holes. You see the holes, right? Okay, so I put the washer on it. Just put it right through right there. So here's the lid. It's got the holes in it. Okay. Now that one, you see how it fit? Now you might have to screw it in. You know, I kind of screw it in like that. See? Just make sure that the washer goes all the way to the bottom. And now I've already lined these up. The bucket hole with the lid hole. So I can see right through it.
Washer.
And it's got the washer. And it's got the washer on it. And I'm going to have to screw that one in too, because that's what size of drill bit I had. That was just slightly bigger than the threads. And that is actually perfect if you could get it like that, because then you could screw it in, meaning it's going to be nice and tight.
If it just falls through the hole, it's too loose.
If it falls right through, it's kind of loose. So this is perfect. And I've got the nut. I'm just going to start it just so I don't try to hold everything with one hand. And then I'll lift it up for you.
You can flip it upside down.
And you know, you can just kind of tighten it like that. And you know, you can do that now. You can kind of flip it upside down and tighten it, but not so much that you crack anything there. See, if I pushed any more, I learned this when I was a teenager, when I was putting bolts into my engine block, and then I busted it into the engine block. You don't force it. You just go as far as
Good
it'll
tip.
go. Yeah. It's a common mistake when you're a newbie. That's what you're contending with. And you can do that with 5-gallon buckets that are all a solid color if you want. It's the same system, same principle. And the total cost for this was, if I include the practice buckets, it's less than $20 anyway. So, and you don't have to wait on stuff to be shipped from abroad and go through the hassle of all the customs and the shipping and all that junk like that. So you just buy this stuff here and you got your tools and bada bing bada boom.
What about the
It's
filters?
cheap. Well, the filters are the filters. You got to get your filters down here one way or another, you know, however you do it. Used to be easier before, but now it's almost impossible.
And now if you want to filter out fluoride, those attach to these Berkey filters, right?
Well, those are just an additional filter that they just screw right on.
They just screw right on.
They just
Alex
screw right-
showed that in the other video, which we'll
You
put
just-
a,
Yeah, you just leave that this way, and then you just
Yeah.
screw those additional fluoride filters right here. And then you'd see those filters hanging down. Your unfiltered water goes in the first bucket. You fill it up, and slowly but surely you'll see little driplets on each of the filters coming down.
you see it dripping from the top.
And then when you want water, you just, you know, open the faucet. It's that simple. So I hope that explains everything to you, and I appreciate you coming and watching our videos. We try to help people as much as we can. That's what our websites are all about, is helping people. I know what it's like when you need some help and what it's like to get a helping hand. I know what that's like, and so I just like to help other people as much as I can. So thanks for coming, Frank and Angie. Discover CuencaEcuador.com, discover QuitoEcuador.com, and HeavenMinistries.com. Have a wonderful day, and see you later.